G'day everyone, welcome to the channel. As you can tell from the title, new watch alerts, and I'm actually wearing it right now, and that's the Tudor Black Bay Pro, which I got off the boys at WatchConnect. Now, if you've been keeping up with my channel, I've bought quite a few watches of WatchConnect, starting off with the White Speedmaster, the GMT Batgo, the two-tone Submariner Bluesy, and this piece right here. And my brother also bought a two-tone black dial Submariner off WatchConnect, and they're lovely guys, man. I've been dealing with Nick and Steve. So Steve more recently, but Nick previously in the past. Both of them hectic blokes, great business model, great business setup. So I'd highly recommend you check them out if you wanted to trade, sell, or buy your next luxury watch here in Sydney or Australia-wide. Now, the Tudor Black Bay Pro, again, if you've been watching my videos in the past, I've harped on about this watch as a recommendation to a lot of people when doing their collection reviews, but I've also harped on about it as just a overall sick watch. And as you guys might have known, I used to own the Miss Flake, which is kind of like the Explorer 2 style look. Looks very similar to this, steel bezel, 24-hour markers on the bezel, GMT hand, and Bob's your uncle with a date. Now, why I wanted to get this watch was I wanted to get something more tool-like. Looking into my collection at the moment, I've got a lot of grails, a lot of heavies, mid-heavies, as some people would say, in the upper echelons of the watch collecting world, in the APs and Pateks. But look, I've got a lot of watches that don't really suit the adventure type aesthetic. So I'm quite an active person. I like going on hikes, I like working out, training, I like going for runs, I like exploring. And wearing a GMT Master 2, although I've done it before, I've actually gone on hikes with my GMT Master 2, it's not the most ideal watch to wear when it comes down to those physical activities. Now, I'm not going to wear my two-tones because they're just asking to get dinged and scratched up, and the date just isn't a adventure watch, although it can be. I had a look at a couple of different options. I looked at the Seamaster 300, the seaweed green dial. That was an option of mine. I also looked at a Shunbun, a Grand Seiko Shunbun Titanium, because I thought I'd probably hit the titanium tick box out of my collection right now. But the Seamaster is great, but I had the issue before where the front side of the dial got scratched up because there's AR coating on both sides of the dial. So I thought to myself, if I'm going to run it through its paces, do I want the dial to get scratched up as it did before? And I was like, nah, I'll skip that. The Shunbun as well, titanium pink dial. I wanted a pink watch and I wanted a titanium watch. I'm wearing a pink shirt today. And look, it just didn't fit the bill for what I wanted, which is like a tooly tool watch. And I gotta tell you, this is a tool if I've ever looked up the definition of tool in the dictionary. This is basically what I wanted, man. Like, I love the aesthetic. The Explorer 2 has always been something that I just absolutely adored, but I don't want to go neo-vintage, the 40mm, just because with modern updates and technologies like the clasp of this, the old 40mm reference Explorer 2s, I just don't want to go deal with the lack of micro adjustment or the rabbit hole of seeing if it's being serviced or not. And I am open to getting into one of those, but it's not something that I'm willing to spend my money on purely because they're quite expensive, right? Like, we're talking $8,000 to $10,000 depending on the model. And I'd only go for a 2008 onwards model with a engraved rehaut. So look, bit of change for something I'm gonna destroy. And this just works, man. 39mm case, 47.5mm lug to lug, thickness of about 15mm, but the thickness is a non-issue. Like, wearing it as a tool, right? Like, I feel like going out to the farm and messing up some wood, just spending my day chopping some wood and making a campfire, building a hut or something. Like, it's just appropriate for what I wanted it for. And look, the current Explorer 2s, although they're fantastic, it just doesn't fit me. I'm just gonna be honest with myself. Very large watch, big man's watch. And look, although I am into bodybuilding, I'm not big enough to rock that, right? So to get the Explorer S-type watch, I went with the Tudor Pro. Now, There's a lot of videos on this watch already on YouTube. This is just me putting in my thoughts and opinions of it. And I've always said ever since I started this channel that the Tudor Pro is the greatest bang for buck watch out there. It's got the T-Fit clasp, you got a GMT complication, it looks the business, it wears well on a lot of people's wrists, and although it is thick, I feel like people blow that out of proportion because yeah, it's thick, but it's a tool watch in the end of the day. So if you wanted to get something more thinner, there are thinner examples out there, but you just gotta pay, right? Like the Miss Flake was still a bit of a thick watch. However, although it was a sick watch, it is more expensive. We're talking $13,000 and there's no micro adjustment on it. So like you gotta pick and choose what you're looking for when it comes down to what's the purpose of you getting that watch and how are you gonna use it. And I couldn't be happier. Now, in terms of cons, look, there's not really that many I can think of. And I know I say that a lot with a lot of the watches I buy. I always say there's not many cons that I can think of, and that's because I've thought long and hard to buy the watches that have minimal cons that'll make me truly happy. And it's just great. It's just a chunky tool, and it's a big chunk of metal on your wrist. It just makes me feel good, man. It just makes me, again, it just makes me want to go out there, buy a Mustang, and go out to the farm and just mess up some wood, man. So that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tudor Pro added to the collection. This is now my 7th watch in my collection, so I should do a updated state of the collection because I have sold a lot of watches out and I'm planning to get more watches in the near future. I'm just trying to think which one should I go for. In my end of 2024 video, I did mention I wanted the Seamaster Bronze Titanium. That is still in the works. However, with the prices the way they are, just got to be patient until they drop down to a more palatable price. But see you guys in the next video. Take care.